LockMarie Talk Show with Yo Girl. Yes, yes, give me some love up in this joint. It's Yo Girl, Coach LockMarie. Yes.
Come home, but I know you don't.
Hey.
So this time I'll hear it all the phone. If you got something to say to me, then say it to my face. What it's all about, why you're bailing out. Think you owe me an apology. Just say it to my face.
You're sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry.
Even quit some friends for you, 'cause you couldn't stand it, me all independent, so you had to have me for yourself. That was when I trusted you, when I could add up 2 and 2, when you promised we'd be together, you, me, forever. Now there's nothing left to lose. And though I understand it's hard sometimes to make up your mind in these trying times, yeah, I just can't accept you leaving me when I'm overseas with the heart so heavy. Think that I deserve the truth for once, not a guilty tone, 'cause you're not alone, yeah. You said you wanna come home, but I know you don't. So this time I'll hear it all.
I love the melodies to a lot of these songs. The words are, of course, a lot of times the words are, their personal experiences or stories or something that they've come up with, for the, whatever vibe or energy they were in at the time. But the melodies sometimes are just so beautiful. You're so sorry. That shit. This could go one of 2 ways with this song. It'd be cracking me up. They could be saying you're sorry, meaning I apologize for what I did, or they could be saying you just sorry, like you're a poor excuse of a. If you really listen to what they're saying, it's kind of like a catch, like they playing with the words. But yeah, how are you guys? Yes, your girl is back. I put the instrumental version on. Your girl is back again, y'all. I'm telling you, once my momentum get going, I'll be going for a minute. I am really telling you, I'm enjoying life. Life is good. And yeah, life is good. And you know what? Every morning when you wake up, if you say that, guess what? Life will become good. I didn't just start this now. See, that's what I'm trying to get us to understand. And that's where I was, my coach. Shout out to my business coach, because she's a freaking beast. Not just a business coach, but a life coach. Like, just ridiculous with it. Shout out to Dr. TT. Let's give her a little applause, y'all. Amazing little lady. Amazing. I love her. Her life is just beautiful. And, she would say different things because God brought her in my life at a point where I really was on the brink of expanding. And I was like, there was a missing piece. I knew a lot, but I didn't have anybody to validate those and I use that word lightly because I can't think of the word to use at this point, because it wasn't a validation. It was just a confirmation. I don't know. It was just like that click, that once it clicked, the rest was history. Like, I've just been sailing ever since. And I met her online. Like, and I didn't even meet her online. I just saw an ad she did. See, my point right here is just do what you do. Just do what you're supposed to do. Don't worry about people. Don't worry about who ain't coming, who ain't liking, who ain't this, who ain't speaking, who ain't saying nothing, who ain't encouraging and congratulating and supporting. Just do what you do. She was just doing what she did. She took a picture, put up a bomb picture on an ad, and it came up on my feed. And that caught my attention. Her picture. It wasn't her words. It wasn't nothing else. The first thing that caught my attention was the fact that she was a beautiful woman. And I was like, oh, she cute. And that drew me in to see what she was talking about. So, people always talk about, it ain't what's on the outside. Look, all right. It has a lot to do with, God knows how to reach. And God knows what forces to use to get the right people into the right places for the right time in their life. And that's what I needed. And I thought it was about, and her thing was about branding. That was what the ad was. She does 100 million other things, but that particular ad was about branding. And I was like, And I had an interest on branding too. But my God, he used one thing to open up something in my life that changed every freaking aspect of my life. Who would have thought getting in a course on branding would have helped me figure out some deep-rooted emotional, psychological, spiritual things that I was dealing with. You just don't know where your answer is. You can't count stuff out. It's not always what you think it's gonna be. And I'm just like, I'm telling you, she don't even know. She will never understand. Like, words, I could never repay her in anything, in any form of words or it will never. I just wish nothing but continued elevation, prosperity, heart's desires being granted, whatever it is she wants. I just connect with that, and I confirm and agree with it for her life, for the rest of her life, because that's all I can do. God, the universe got to do what she deserved. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, we couldn't, no one could ever repay her for the calling that God has placed on her life through business. She's a business coach, but she does so much more than just business. And that's an amazing thing. And she's a young girl. That's what's so captivating. She's young. She still got, I'm telling you, y'all, she's a beast. She's a big Dr. TT, you a beast, girl. I know she laughed when she hear this. I love her. I can't wait to. And that's another thing. I have yet to meet the woman face to face. Oh, I'm going to, though. Don't sleep, because I done already got my. I got some stuff. I'm gonna meet her. That's all I'm gonna say. We gonna meet. I'm gonna on her one day. She gonna be someplace and I'm gonna be like, hey! She gonna know it's me too. I'm just as crazy as I was at the time. But her, if her energy and her spirit is so strong through the freaking internet and through the freaking telephone and through emails, oh my God. I meet this woman, y'all ain't, look, I might just become a whole total different person. Y'all really ain't ready for that one. That's why God ain't allowed it to happen yet, because he know I wasn't ready for it yet. But yeah, when you meet people like that in life, it's just a complete blessing, and she just also showed me that what I was searching for in life, they do exist in people. I just had yet to find it, to tap into it. And when I tapped into her, that class, that online class, when I say I was connected to a group of women that all had the same, see, I was, each group from that, before I met her and her platform, I was in other empowerment groups and other, sessions and different things, and it was cool for the, where I was then. But because you're constantly expanding, you can't, look, people who don't settle, and when I say settle, I don't mean in a sense of, oh, this is beneath me or this is too less for me. No, I mean settle, meaning get grounded in one spot and stay for years. It's because they're constantly expanding. Stop, and parents, I'm going to tell you this about your kids. Stop trying to make your kids settle. Like, let them expand. Let them go. Let them travel. Let them move. Let them explore. So what? They done went from the piano to the organ to the this to the... That may mean that they may one day become their own orchestra. Like, don't just try to make them stick with the piano for 50 years. Stick with the... If that's not in them to do, that is the road of least resistance. They'll start with the piano. That sparks a flame in them, and then that gives them life, and then they go to this, and that gives them life, and then they go, that's giving them life each time. Let them expand, let them explore life and see what's out there, so that they can figure out what it is that they're supposed to do, so that they can see what their passion is. You forcing them, you asserting your authority over them to make them play football, or to make them play basketball, or to make them dance. If that's not what they want to do, I'm telling you, wild horses won't be able to keep them there. And you're gonna really be mad because you done wasted all your money in one place. So you just have to be able to expand, and I'm just so glad that like I said, and it's nothing that I can't even explain it. People like, you always doing something, you always moving. That's just who I am. That's who I was created to be. I can't explain it. You can't explain who you are. You just are. I'm a human being, and that's who I be. And so the groups before her got me up to her. I just knew there was more. Where I was, I saw the people, nothing, like I said, it's nothing against them personally, because that's where they are, and people are where they are, but I knew I was more. I needed more. I was at a level where there was more for me. But when I got to this woman, and even now, like I don't ever, like if I ever now have a question, I don't ever have to seek out any other type of coach. And that's the thing, she's constantly expanding. See, if you're an expander, if you're a deliberate creator, when you connect to somebody who's also doing that, then you can go with them, because you're growing together. That woman ain't stopped growing. See, some people grow to a certain You know how, don't they say they got, like, they're dogs like that. There's certain dogs that they grow and they get to a certain spot and they don't grow anymore. That doesn't mean that that dog is any less than any other dog that grows large and huge, from a puppy to a Rottweiler. One time I had a dog, a Rock, and I think we got him when he was 2 years old. That thing, when we got that thing, I don't call it a thing, the animal. Until when I left where he was, night and day, would nobody come in the yard, wouldn't come near that gate, but that does not make that dog any better than one of them little mini chihuahuas or them little mini dogs that don't grow. It's just, that's who you are. That's just what you were placed here to be and to do. And you don't found your vibe, so vibe with it. And that's where I think we as people make our mistake. We see where we are. If we're a person who we were born to just be a, what do you call those flowers that we call them the wish flower. It's white and people pick it and they blow it, and the thing blows all over the place. And if the wind blow real hard, it blows that off all the stems or whatever you call those on it, the little white things on it, it blows it off. If you were created to be that flower, okay, and you are around sunflowers, roses, daffodils, all these other different elaborate flowers, you need to appreciate the flower you are, and don't get mad or jealous or try to hold back. Why would one of them wish flowers try to hold a rose from budding? The rose is going to bloom and blossom into what it's supposed to be. The carnation is going to be what it's supposed to be. The daffodil is going to be what it's supposed to be. Like, if each person stay in their lane and be who they were created to be, then they would be able to appreciate the beauty of other people. But from what I see, because I have friends, and like I said, see, a lot of things I say y'all be thinking, but people talk to me. I've always been a quote unquote uncertified counselor. Literally. People have always came to me on my job. They would come sit in my courtroom and talk to me about their marriages and talk to me about their person. And I'll be sitting in my mind, I'll be like, I don't know them like this, but they telling me all their business. But that's just, and it was for times like this so that I can let you know, because I'm telling you, folks, it's happening. And people will be in arenas, they'll be in organizations, they'll be in different groups with a coach or with a leader, and I can talk about churches because that's born and bred. They'll be under a leader in a church, or they'll be in a school under a teacher, or some type of organization under some type of, mentor. And the mentor will see the potential in the people that mentor or that coach or that pastor or that leader will be a wish flower. And that's just who they are, okay? Or they'll be, we'll say they'll be a carnation. And they only grow up, a carnation grows to a certain size. And instead of them understanding that in their congregation or in their empowerment group or in their women's seminar or in their motivational chapter or whatever, in their fraternity or sorority, they have daffodils, roses, wish flowers, sunflowers, the big, elaborate flowers. Like, they, instead of them realizing that they have a garden, a rose garden of women, they will get jealous and angry and bitter at the growth of the women under them and try to keep those women under them to and try to conform them to become what they are, to stay there, instead of allowing them women to blossom into who they're supposed to be, so that they can go out and reach masses and connect with other women to do the same thing, right? Each one reach one, right? Or to allow them to get to some roses that haven't blossomed yet, so that they can help them develop, to get to some daffodils that haven't truly opened yet, to help them open. Not realizing that then that person will be grateful because they helped them get to where they were, and come back and assist them or bless them, right? See, you are a lot of times hindering yourself. Your blessing, you are not, okay. Sometimes you are not the blessing. Sometimes you are developing and cultivating blessings that will come back and rock your world. You are developing millionaires and billionaires who will come back and break you off. Yes, you are just a $250,000 heir. But God has millionaires and billionaires being birthed through you to come back and break you off. But because of your lack of expansion where you are, because of your lack of development, you gonna miss that blessing, because you gonna rub it the wrong way. And what they gonna do? They gonna leave, and they ain't gonna think twice about blessing you, because you done rubbed it the wrong way, and now somebody else is gonna get that blessing. See, people think, oh, no, you can miss yours. You definitely can. Because somebody else gonna get that one. See, Dr. TT, I don't care how many millions or billions she may have over me, she gonna get, when I get, she gonna get blessed. Because her heart is right. See, when you have shown people your heart is in the wrong place, when you have shown people that your attitude of how you reacted or responded to them when what you thought should have went down with y'all quote unquote relationship or friendship or sponsorship or whatever, mentorship, or whatever type of interaction you had, when you show them an ugly side of yourself in that, even in families, when co-workers and family members have spats, and then you show your tail, you have just shown your tail, and you have cut yourself off from what could have happened. You don't know what that other person had in their mind to bless you with or to do for you, because they know where they going. You may not know, you may not see it, but they know the people that they're involved and connected with, and they may have wanted to connect you with the next person and connect you with the next person, but now they're not going to connect, because they're not going to put their reputation on the line because of your bad attitude. I will connect Dr. TT with any and everything and anybody I meet, because her heart is right and her heart is pure and her intent behind what she does is pure. Now, I ain't gonna lie, there were certain times, before I got to where I was like, I don't know, I think she must be, but when it's just pure, it's just pure. And it's gonna be. And it just is what it is. And so, I'm saying what I'm saying to say, be careful with how you treat and how you react to those who, quote unquote, you feel at one point is under you, beneath your leadership or beneath your reign. Because everybody ain't meant to stay there. And when God elevate them, and when they get to where they're going, they'll see you, but that's all they'll see is see you. That's all they're gonna do is, hey, how you doing? Everything good? Oh, good, all right. And they're gonna keep it pushing, because they're not gonna waste their time, their energy, or their money on anything that they know doesn't have the right heart. See what it says, the Bible says, man looketh at the outward appearance, but God, he knows the heart. And when God has a heart for people, he's not going to let nobody else take advantage of his hearts. When he has a place for you to get to, and it's time for you to leave a certain place, and that's what I've always, I know how my life goes now. I'll get somewhere, because look, my thing, I want to get, and this is me, and I've never been able to do it, because that's not what God has for me. And that's how I know. That's why when people talk, I just let them talk, because I already know. He showed me from my junior college years. That's when I started being consciously aware of it. I'll get in, I call it the boat. I'll get in a boat and I get comfortable. I'm like, yeah, I get good at it. I become the top at it. I can do it in my sleep. And that's when it's like, oh shoot, that boat start rocking. And it's like the Jonah. God's like, you got to go. And he throw me overboard. A whale catch me and throw me up on another shore, and I get in another one, and then I start getting in there, and I don't like to have to relearn stuff and redo stuff. I don't. I want to get someplace and stay for 50. That's what I want to do, y'all. Seriously, I know people think she just always, y'all don't even get it. And that's probably why God gives me this route, because he knows that it's going to challenge me and it's going to evolve me. With just like I use this as an example, my body. Women have always wanted big butts, right? All my life. Oh, girl, if I had half of what you have, I've never wanted it. That's why he gave it to me, because he knew I didn't want it. And he knew I was going to know how to handle it. I wasn't going to get the big head with it. Right? So, with my life, with other places, other things that I've done, I don't want to get there and become the one and become it. I just want to get in there, you know what I'm saying, and just ride with it and just do what I do and do it good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I want to. As soon as I get good at it, or as soon as I think everything is cool, then that boat start rocking. And I be holding on. You know how you get on them bulls at the different bars, and it's going slow, so you holding on, you jerking, and then the person doing the controls, they turn up the heat. They turn up the heat, and you going and you trying to hold on. Sometimes you ain't supposed to be trying to hold on. Sometimes you're just supposed to let go and go with the flow. God has a flow for your life. There is a design and a divine plan for your life. You trying to hold on to something for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Why do we think numbers? For some reason, people validate themselves by how long they done did something. And it's society, because a job or a real estate company will rather give someone something because they've been someplace for 50, 60 years versus the person who done moved every 6 to 12 months. When I promise you, the person who done moved every 6 to 12 months probably will be a better candidate, because they have more variety than that person who been stuck in one spot for 20, 30 years. because they're stuck in that mode. I was in a career for that. Believe me, I know. When you get stuck someplace, you only see things a certain way. I wasn't stuck in marriages that long, but I was stuck in a career that long. And I know how I had to literally force my mind to change, to see people, even regular everyday people that I met, differently than what I saw every day on that job. And that's why women and men who are in relationships or marriages for long amounts of time will never understand someone who has not been, or someone who's been single for a long time, or someone who maybe have been through 2, 3, 4, 5 different relationships or marriages. You're never going to understand them. And I thank God that He's giving me the opportunity to evolve in different areas and to have, I done had single life, I done had a married life, I done had a divorced life, I done had separated life, I done lived multiple lives. I see it from a different perspective as being a woman. So anytime I meet a woman who's going through a divorce, I can relate to her. Anytime I meet a woman who's single and been single for a long time, I can relate to her. Anytime I meet a woman who legally still married but separated and know she ain't going back and going forward, I can relate to her. I can relate to a woman who was separated just for a split second, but with the intent to still go back, and she goes back. I can relate to her because I done been in every phase of those lives. And so I get it. And that's why I can be more open with what I say. I can be more open and clear with what I think. And I can think past a lot of other people who haven't. And that's not a good or bad thing. That's not a I'm better than you less than thing. And that's why I'm trying to get other people who are in those boats to see. Just because you stuck there, don't look down on people who not. Roses can't look down on daffodils or wish flowers or carnations. Enjoy and appreciate the beauty of what the other person is. Difference is good. But for some reason, instead of people looking at different at being good, they look at difference as a competition. They look at difference as intimidation, something to intimidate. But that comes from something within you that still needs to be developed. Because you should not be intimidated or feel in competition with anybody else if you know your value and you know your worth. $100 bills don't compete with 10s, 5s, and 1s. A $1 bill don't try to be a 5 or it just it'll just accumulate other ones and it can become a 5. A 5 don't have to compete with no 10. Just get another 5 and you become a 10. A $20 bill don't have to compete with 100. Get 5 more 20s and you 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just do what you do, multiply what you've been given, stay in your lane and do what you do, you won't have to worry about what nobody else is doing, how they're blooming, because the problem is, and we need to change our mentality. There is no lack. We live in an abundant universe. The God that created this universe is well capable of supplying all of our needs. Every desire you want can and will, if you do what you're supposed to do, it will, but it can be granted. It doesn't be granted. Excuse my English, but you know. It doesn't, you don't see it not because of the lack of, it's because of the lack in you. Whether it's the lack of your belief, whether it's the the lack of your alignment, your focus. It's not because there's a lack in abundance. Whatever you want, you can have. You can be. But it's in you. The economy ain't no lack. The government, look, we went through 2 years of shutdown. Did we go down? No. Some of y'all came up. Look, some of y'all came up. Before this pandemic, you didn't have nothing. After this pandemic, you got 3 and 4 businesses. You came up. You can have 1 paycheck. After the pandemic, you got 4 checks. You came up. That proves it's not a lack. That proves it's expanding. The world, it's unlimited. So competition, you don't have to compete. We compete because man makes up competitions. They have challenges and, to see who's the best and to see it. But even that, like I'll use an example. I did a competition for a magazine cover, online magazine cover, I think it was, or something. I just did it because really I wanted it to push me to keep my body. At that point, I used that as my focal point to keep myself going in my health walk, right? My motivation, right? I didn't care about getting on that or not, so I had people, helping me. If I got on, that was fine, but I wasn't attached to it, right? Because I didn't get it, it didn't make me think, oh, I'm not good, or I'm not, man, I know who I am. I'm very confident. Remember, I'm a certified confidence coach, but that certification don't mean nothing because I've been confident before I was certified. I just got the certification. I am who I am. And that's how you have to look at yourself. You are who you are. You don't have to compete with other people. You don't have to let other people's insecurities make you become insecure. And that's what happens a lot of times. This is a vibrational world. And I use the word vibration because that is a more universal word that most people understand than spirit. When you say words like spirit and enemy and demon, that's more of a religious based word, and only a group of people sometimes understand that. So I'm speaking to a broader audience. That's why I use words that more people can relate to. But it's the same thing. Your vibe, your energy is the same thing as your spirit or your aura. Or it may have different meanings from the definition of it, but it's all emotions and feelings and what's inside of you. The inner person in you, your inner being, your inner God, whatever you want, it's the same. Potato. We want to get so religious sometimes, and I've been there, and so self-righteous to no one else's. If you don't say it the way I say it, then you don't have it. You're worried about the wrong things, really. Your focus is on the wrong things. That's why you can't expand, and that's why your ministry can't grow. Get past that, and maybe God will bless you with more. But that's a whole nother podcast. But it's for us to not look at other people to compete with them, but look at other people to grow with them and appreciate who they are. And from the inside out, develop. If you see someone doing something that you like, because 90%, okay, anyone that you look at and you criticize, convict, condemn, judge, constructively criticize or give advice to. And I'm doing my little quote fingers when I said that. It's because you see something in them that deep inside you really wish you could do or be, but you just not strong enough, bold enough, or an individual enough to do it. You're not free enough to do it. That's just point blank what it is. And you can try and convince me otherwise, but I don't believe that anymore. I have changed my belief. I have been uprooted from that belief or that mindset. You are not trying to help them. You are not trying to assist them. You deep, anytime you have a negative emotion about somebody else doing something that you ain't doing, it's because there's something going on in you. Point blank. And all they are is being a mirror to help you now, if you smart and if you really want to grow and expand, for you now to look within and say, okay, God, what's going on with me? What are you trying to show me through this person? He don't look. What did they say? He will use a jackass. He used one in the Bible to speak. On the road, was it on the road to Damascus? Where was it that donkey spoke? So that what they consider, that was a donkey, but that's considered a jackass, right? People, we don't call them donkeys. Folks use the word jackass in the human term, right? Oh, jackass. Same difference. God uses, instead of using a animal one, he will use whoever he can to get your attention. But the problem is, you think you so high and mighty to where you can't hear it or get it from nothing under you. It has to be above you. How many leaders, and I'm gonna say this because I can say it, how many preachers, pastors, bishops, teachers could learn so much from their members if they would humble themselves and learn? And I'm gonna clap on that one. God has placed those people not for you to rule over them, but God has placed those people, all those personalities, all those different characteristics, all those different spirits, you want to call them, all those different demons, you want to call it, all those different vibes, energies, auras in your congregation to help make you a better person, to help develop you in the process of them being developed and becoming more under your leadership. That's the way it's supposed to be. You have not made it. You are not the end to all. You still got a lot in you. That's why you get irritated so much, because you have yet to grow in your mind to realize that is what they were placed there for, to do to you and for you. You need them just as much as they need you. And if leaders would start looking at it from that perspective, they would be a lot better and a lot more happier. If you would expand, oh my God, if a leader, someone who is a teacher, a school teacher, a coach, if you have a group under you, a band leader, anyone, a CEO of a company, a manager, a supervisor. Ooh, I'm feeling this thing, y'all. Y'all better hear me today. I can help. I'm going to help you if you get it. If you got any type of group under you, if what you would do from this day forward, parents with your children, from this day forward, if you would just allow them to be who they are, okay? Yes, you have your rules and your your policies, and because that's just the way life is. But I'm gonna be honest, They need to throw them things out the window too. I have met people from other countries, and they said that they don't have rules and policies on guns and any of that, and they have less crime. People walk around with guns. People are free to carry them, and they have less crime than we do over here with all these freaking laws and rules. Because you can't assert authority and expect people to follow it. It's a law of attraction, not law of assertion. So it's never going to work. We're going to always, in America, we're going to always have the issues we have because of the laws and the policies and the way people think. That's just the way it's going to be. If you as a leader, with anybody who has somebody under them, husbands with their wives, hey, we can go there. It can go from just that. You could just be two people. If you are one person with just one person or more up under you as a leader, if you would stop looking at their actions and their reactions to you as good, bad, wrong, out of line, out of place, negative, if what you feel whenever they communicate or correspond with you, when you feel any type of thing other than love, joy, happiness, excitement, expansion because of your dealing with them, instead of you looking at them like they're the problem, if you would start going within saying, okay, what can I learn from this interaction with them? Your growth, oh my God, and your relationship with those people would change dramatically. If you don't believe me, and Dr. TT, don't get mad at me. Email my doctor. That's what she is. Email my coach, Dr. TT, and ask her how many irate, irresponsible, difficult, annoying, hateful, mean, bitter, angry, dysfunctional people she deal with in her coaching. And this woman is a freaking, I don't know if she's doing billions yet, but she doing it big time. Look her up, Dr. Tracy Timberlake. Look her up and look at, cause she's out there. I gotta see if she did her reality show yet. I'm telling y'all, she doing big things. Let me know. Ask her how many clients out of all the clients she have mentored and she have coached, how many have she had issues with? And I promise you, it's probably less than 10 or 0, and that's probably from her first years before she really expanded. And because she don't attract that kind of mess, because she has learned how life works. I'm telling y'all. And I'm proud to be able to know this, to be able to be wise enough now and have expanded my own life to see it, to know it in her life. Not to judge her and be hating on her. I get life. I'm sorry. Damn, I need to take a break, y'all. I know you're hiding behind that pretty brown face. I see you climbing, been trying to find your way. Let's see you smiling. Since we were stuck in LA, babe, come jump the rooftop and come watch the skyline with me. Whew, sorry. I just felt that. I just expanded right there, y'all. Whew. That resistance left. Whew. I was a manifestation before manifestation right there. Whew. Yes, Lord. Something good is about to come out of this. Whew. Oh, thank you, God. No pressure. I gotta clown so I won't stay serious. Ooh, I felt that. See, you can't focus on pure positive energy. A person like Dr. TT and not expand. Because she has a pure heart and she means nothing but right to others. And when you tap into that, you expand and you feel it. I'm telling you guys, there's something we gotta learn this for ourselves. And if you would contact a person like her, another one, she was one of the coaches in my group, and I will put her on blast too. Shavannah Moore. Matter of fact, she got a CBS show coming out. Excuse me. But when I met her, she was moving and shaking and doing. But man, from the time I met her in that coaching class until now, whoo, expansion, right? If you would get in contact women like that, they will let you know they are, and they are not available for anything other than pure positive energy. People who have the heart, people like me, I'll just say what it is. People like me who was confused, frustrated, busted, and disgusted with the mundane of life, the back and forth of religion, tradition, competition, irritation, and who had that heart to grow and be more than what they knew they were. That is what they attract, and that is what they deal with, and that is what God places in their path to grow and develop. If you are still dealing, let me close this, got this down. If you are a leader, or if you are a husband, or you are a wife, or you are a mother, or you are a father, or you are a teacher, you are a mentor, you are a coach, or you are a pastor, an evangelist, a Sunday school teacher, I'm trying to get people who have people under them, a first lady, a women's department leader, a youth department leader, a bishop over jurisdictions, and you are still having issues out of the people that you deal with, that is because there is whatever you're dealing with, it is trying to pull and develop in you something that you yet have not tapped into, and you need to go within instead of looking at them like they're the issue. It's you. They are placed there as your mirror to sharpen that gift in you. God is trying to elevate you higher through them. And you should be thanking them for being who they are, instead of trying to bind them and cast them out and all that other stuff, which only makes it worse for you. And you know I'm telling the truth because you're still dealing with it. You talk to any leader who will tell you that they have a good congregation, or they have a happy See, this is what you'll do. A leader who has the issues and the problem children, we'll call them. You'll look at a leader who don't have those issues. And I'm going to just say, you'll look at, and I'm going to use this example, and I'm going to say the names because I have heard people talk down on this man for years before I became a part of his ministry at one point. Hold on, y'all. I got to blow my nose. We family. I can blow it. Bishop Blake, Charles Edwards Blake. I'm going to give him a shout out right now. One of the best leaders I ever in my life have come across. And I probably have spoken to him maybe twice or 3 times in my life. Now that's sad to say when I have been closer to some, literally slept in their houses and hung out with them. And I'll say that about somebody who I ain't even had no interaction with, than somebody who I done been in their vibe because of the spirit behind him. That man, shout out to his son and my girl, I don't care, she one of my besties, my online besties. I like her, Miss Janine Blake. And my what I love about it, and I'm seeing more so that people only like I said, people only criticize and judge what they want to be or what they don't understand or what they're fighting against becoming. Before I became a member of Bishop Blake's church, I heard so much about his church. Now, not about him per se as a man, but about his church. His people who, go to his church Monday through Friday services and the Sunday services, right? Other churches in the jurisdiction, I'm going to put y'all on blast. Always had negative things to say about the members of West Angeles. And I'm going to just keep it real. They did. I'm not going to say who. I could, but I won't do that. But we did. Because they wanted to always act as if theirs was the best. My congregation is more holier. My congregation is more this. His people are just so. Okay. The issue is, instead of you looking at, because see, instead of saying, his people are happy, they're free, they're expanding, they're growing. Instead of you looking at people who have what you want to have, who do what you want to do, and saying, wow, what is it that they have that I need to have? Instead of looking at people who not struggling and looking to try to see what it is you can do to stop struggling, you will try to convince yourself and make a belief within your own mind that you are holier or you are more better than them because that's worldly. And you will use the Bible to try to condemn them and try to justify your struggle and lack thereof. That's where all those that live godly shall suffer persecution. And God said that, it won't be easy. And that's why you continue to live that life, because that's the story you keep telling yourself, and you keep condemning what it is you really want. You will never get a brand new car. You will never own a house. You will never meet a good man or marry or have children or whatever it is you keep condemning that you actually really want. You cannot receive it while you're talking against it. You have to be mature enough to look at it and say, okay, this is where I am. Deep inside, I really wish I was balling out of control like they are. What is it that I can do to do what to have what they have and still remain true to who I am? That's what you need to ask yourself. But people point the fingers, and those pointing fingers is keeping what you really want from coming to you. They talk, instead of going to Bishop and saying, Bishop, like, what is it that, I need to do? Or how do you think I could get my people to be more involved like yours are? How is it that, instead of going to him asking that, oh, that's because, that's a large church. In them large churches, we always got an excuse as to why things are the way they are. And I'm going to be honest, when I was in a small church, my grandfather's church, and even God, rest in peace, Papa, but he was one of them. He always had his mouth on him at certain points in certain things, because he was more stricter in the word and stricter and more. Just say what they consider they being more holier, right? Bishop Blake just understands that that's not his job to control people's lives. It's his job to preach the gospel. He did exactly, and he does exactly what he's supposed to do. Worry about him and his family and his own self. He's not supposed to worry about what you are doing, what you ain't doing, what you are, how you dressing and how you not dressing, and where you going after church and where you not going. That's not his concern. He preaches the word. He goes home and he spends time with his family. He handles his ministry. He handles his business. I don't think I've ever heard him or seen, and I don't know about the older version of the church, but he don't beg, he don't plead. My dad, he reminds me of a Bishop Blake, and my dad's church is way smaller, but he has a larger congregation than most what they call storefront churches, but it's smaller than Bishop Blake's. But my dad don't beg, he don't plead. When I went to visit, he don't even take up offering on Wednesday nights. I ain't never went to a church and the pastor didn't take up an offering. And it shocked me. But he understands. He don't have to, people freely give when you allow them to freely give. Your people don't give because you always on their head about giving. Stop preaching on giving and watch things change. Stop teaching on tithes and offering and watch they start flowing in. What you focus on, whether you want it or not, is what you get. See, this, I have to bring it into this arena because this is where we're supposed to be thriving and prospering, the church. And we always looking out at what they want to call the world, condemning the world because the world is getting and you're not, but you are the cause behind why you're not getting. If you as a leader would appreciate, commend, encourage, uplift, pray blessings, prosperity, and peace on your people, and stop with the condemnation, the conviction, the hard judging, whatever you want to call it, the tough love, the self, whatever. I don't know. We got many different words for it. But just stop with what's not working, because it's not working. And it's never going to work, because that is not God's plan or will for you as a leader. You have been praying. You have been asking. You have been wondering, God, why my people? What's wrong? What is going on? Why won't my people give? Why won't your people listen? Why won't you? He's trying to tell you right now through this podcast. And I know you didn't think it was going to come through me. I know you didn't think it was going to come through this. I know you looking at me, judging me, because you see me dancing on my videos now. You see me shaking my booty. It's not going to ever come through what you think it's supposed to come through. Yeah, I'm that jackass that's coming through today. I'm the donkey he's using on the road to Damascus to help you get free from what you've been bound for years with your wife not listening to you, with your husband not listening to you, with your children not listening to you, with your Sunday school class not listening to you, with your, if you talk to those leaders who don't have no problems out of their congregation or out of their members, it's because that person, if you really watch their life, they are someone who is at peace within and spew out nothing but love, contentment, joy, peace, prosperity, blessings on other people. If you see a leader and they have health problems, they have mental problems, they have issues, it is, I know I'm about to, it is what it is, and we shall know the truth and the truth will free us. It has nothing to do with the fact that the devil is after them or the devil is mad about their ministry. That is not what it is. It is because that's what you're saying it is. So yes, you're going to continue to go through that momentum. But the truth of the matter is because of what that person individually has going on inside of them that no one else knows about. That's why we've lost certain leaders and certain people in position, and we can't explain it. You will never be able to explain it because it's not your place to explain it, because only them and the God up above knows what they have deep inside of them going on. The momentum, the energy, the vibe that they had, the spirit within them. Man looked at the outward appearance and what they thought they were and who they thought they were and what they thought they were about to do in the world. And oh my God, they were just about, they could have affected so many more people's lives. But God, the atmosphere that God set up, you cannot question what God has put a period on. You have to start. Why is the narcissist always? They all. I'm gonna get that book out. The Narcissist Among Us. It's coming. But every time I edit it, something else. I done went from what? How many pages is this? I done went from 220 pages, I think, to like 280. So it might be a part 2. But it's gonna come out because I'm telling you, I see people, I see the world in a total different mindset now, and it keeps me at peace. Woo, y'all, I'm happy because I know how not to let other people get in here and affect me no more. From the narcissist on down, I laugh at them. Ha 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 ha. And it's not a bad laugh. It's a peace laugh. It's a laugh of, I get it. I see you. I understand why you are who you are. I get why you doing what you do. And I still love you. I have empathy for you. But I gotta laugh because I recognize it. And now I understand why my grandmama used to laugh and giggle so much. We used to, and there people still say, your grandmama always was just giggling. That's why. Because she got it. She understood. She had peace within on certain things and certain issues that other people just could not understand, could not get past. The more you grow, the more you know. And the more you know, the more you grow. It's whatever, all I want is someone to love. If you would start loving where you are, let me talk to you. And I'm going to do, the next podcast is going to be on to women, single women, married women, about that love stuff. Because I'm telling you, I'm getting some stuff. This time away, this time to myself, my next relationship, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. I'ma just say, don't hate when you see it. Ooh. And you ain't gonna understand it. You gonna look at it like, well, how did that? You gonna be trying to figure it out, and you're not gonna be able to, unless you vibrationally, energetically, spiritually there. You gonna miss it. You gonna say, yeah, I already know. Lord, look who she done really. Okay. But I'm gonna be just as happy with Jesus because I'm using this time now, which is what I did before, but not as much. But my singleness, before I got married the first time, I used that time to grow myself, to develop myself. But I still was not understanding life and how it worked. So I attracted something that was the opposite in other areas. In one area, in half the areas, it was cool. But in some of the areas, it wasn't, because of the way I was being taught. So I didn't know how to speak what I wanted and not what I didn't want. So I ended up with a lot of things that I didn't want when my heart wanted other things, but I wasn't speaking. And you know what I'm saying? Like, the more you talk about something that you don't want is what you get. So I didn't know that back then. So I ended up with it. And each round, I'm like I said, each round I'm getting better and better. And God is using my life. Look, let me be your example, ladies. You can get with somebody and literally have a happily ever after, if that is your plan and that is your path to take. That's not everybody's path. Some people, it's for you to go into 1 or 2 or 3 relationships. No one else can judge you. God has a plan for your life. Death we do part is not just physical death. There are different deaths throughout a marriage. If you are waiting on a physical death, that's why some people don't get nothing until throughout that marriage, because they thinking it's a physical death. No, there are other deaths. And you got so many women who've been in a marriage 30, 40, 50 years and dead. I mean 6 feet under emotionally. 6 feet under vibrationally or intimately. 6 feet under financially. But because of what they think other people gonna think or say, or incorrectly interpreting the word, they feel they're stuck. And so they're walking dead, and then they're gonna eventually transition and die. But you can have life now and have that life more abundantly now with whatever you are in. A marriage, a church, a relationship, an organization. As a leader, you can be free now if you would learn to stop spewing your mouth on your people and other people and what you see in them, and realize that is just a reflection of what you need to work on in you. If you are dealing with what you don't want, and I'm going to close in a minute. If you're dealing with what you don't want, then stop talking about it. Stop discussing it. Shut it up. You need to clear up that momentum. You need to clear up that space that you got out there. All those words that you have. And realize this might take a minute. How long have you been talking about this same thing? How long have you been going through this? You and your wife, or you and your girls, or whoever been getting on the phone with you. How long? discussing this over and over and over. Anybody that'll listen, you've been telling them that same story. For how long? You got to take time to shut your mouth. And all of that negative energy, that negative emotion that you're feeling, you got to give it to God. And you got to say, Lord, take this. And I'm speaking to my religious folks. That's why I'm saying God and Lord, because that's how they talk. Lord God, take this. I release it. I surrender it to you. Help me to work on me. Help me to focus on me and what you have for my life. The preachers who say when they got a message, it hit them first, that's people who understand that it's not about me, what they need today. No, it's what do I need, and then it comes out and it reaches and helps other people. Any podcast I've done, any book I've written, you best to know I toil with that thing before it comes out, because it hits me first. My Deadbeat Mom series, and I could get real sentimental there. Because God told me to let go of my son. That was the hardest thing for a mom to do. I don't like crying. I feel like but I'm just saying, y'all, I got to be real with you. Come on now. And people who know me personally know that's my, don't you mess with my son. I will cut you. That's my heart. When God said, let it go, I didn't want to, because that means that would let me, the other person is winning. That make me look like a sucker. You know what I'm saying? Like other people be looking at me like, oh my gosh, she let him go over there with him, and she know where he, and she. God said, release it and let it go. He said, surrender it all. I had to let go and let God. That's what he means, people. He not just talking about your money, giving it to a church. That ain't even the gist of it. It's some stuff in you holding on to, trying to control, trying to rebel against. Let it go. So what if they think they winning? So what if they call you a punk or wuss or whatever? So what? You know who you are. You know what's going on. Do not let other people manipulation control you. That's a form of control. You take back your control from every narcissist, you want to call them, every hard taskmaster. You take back your control and you be free. And if you love unconditionally, you continue to think positive thoughts. Stop telling that same story over and over and over and over and over again, and tell a different one. Tell one of love, or don't tell nothing at all. And when you think of the person, or when you think of the people, when you think of the members, when you think of your wife, when you think of your cheating husband, think of them as you want to see them. Think of them as the person you know they could be. Whether they are that person or not, think of them as that person. And I promise you, God is my witness. You will start a new momentum. You will start a new flow of energy, a new attraction in your life, and you will see a total transformation. And then it'll be so quick. It'll seem like it's so quick to where you think it's something like, oh, they up to something. Oh, What they doing? They got something up their sleeve. I don't trust that. What do you mean? You've been praying for 50 years for God to change them. When God changed them, now you thinking they up to something. So God like, I can't win for losing with you. That's what God is saying. Instead of appreciating it, then you sitting up there second guessing it. And you got other people in your ear. That's it. Keep other folks out your ear. Let God be God. Let God do what he gonna do. Because the very one in your ear is probably the very one you need to get rid of too. Or gonna be the next one to go. They trying to paint a very bad picture of other people because they trying to distract you from what they are and who they really are. You got to be careful. You got to be watchful. But you will start attracting what you say and what you... So if you want to start getting different things from different people, then change your story. Change what you talk about. If they leave, okay? Pastors, you talk about your members leaving and, they... Don't worry about if they left or how they left. If they left, let them go. Husbands, wives, men don't understand why their wives left. Women, he just, one day, everything was fine, and next day, he just left. Relationships, he stopped calling. Don't worry about it. Let them go. Set them free. Because if you're not vibrationally aligned, that's what's going to happen. If you're aligned, now if you're unaligned, then you're going to try to fight and force and what's wrong and talk to me and why you ain't calling me and why you ain't this. And I see it online all the time and I laugh. If you don't call, if you don't text, if you don't this, next. If you ain't this, if you ain't that, new day, new hoe, and new all that mess. And that's why they dealing with what they dealing with. You gotta learn, set things, let everybody be free. If it's yours, it ain't going nowhere. It'll come back. But if it's not, if you have grown apart, then be grateful for that, because the time you were together was precious, or it should have been, unless you was trying to change each other and do something you weren't supposed to be doing. But if it's supposed to be, it'll be. If it's not, something, and when I say this word better, I don't mean in the sense of a person not being, someone being greater or lesser than another. I mean better for you will come. They were for you for that moment. And if this moment is over, there are people who have went separate ways for years. Neither one of them redated, remarried, or did anything, and came right back and took off where they met, where they left off, and kept going. What's for you is for you, no matter what happens. But you gotta stop pushing against it, trying to force stuff, and just let life be what life is, and stay happy, stay free, get involved in what it is you're supposed to be involved in. And that's what I'm going to talk on the next one to my single ladies about why they, women, I can't find no man, I can't get no man. I'm going to tell you why. Remember, I've been single. I know the mindset, I know the thoughts, but I ain't never had a problem attracting a man. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you how. He said, well, I don't want to attract one and then lose him. I didn't lose. I ain't never lost a man. Let's get that straight for the record. They have lost me. They lost, in the sense of I left them kind of thing. And I mean, it's a whole dynamic to that too. But you can attract and keep a man if you want to keep him. I could still be married to my first husband right now. He wasn't going nowhere. Keep it real. He wasn't going nowhere. But see, even with that, God had the wife he's with now. I blessed her because I left. And now she has a blessing. I don't know nothing about, I don't ask my son. I don't get involved in it. Even if he try to tell me, I don't want to know because it ain't none of my business. But she has a blessing now because I stayed in alignment with my life. How many people are you holding up? You're connected to other people's blessings. You're holding on to something that don't belong to you for a longer period of time than it's supposed to. Somebody else is for that end part of their life. Because I look back now and I'm like, thank you, God, for getting me out of there. Because God knew what I desired. The older I got, he knew what type of man I was going to want and what's going to need. That was for then. That's what I was attracted to then. That his views of the future was different, and that shows. People don't tell you everything. But I will get off. It's been almost 80 minutes, but I'm gonna get off in a minute and tell you. But before I do, whatever, I promise you, this one thing you can set your hat to. You can take it to the bank and cash it. Whatever and whoever I attach to as my decision, because it's always my decision. Ain't nobody gonna ever force me, especially from here out. When I attach, they gonna be a darn better person for being attached to me. I am a woman of value. I am a woman of worth. And like I heard President Obama's wife, Michelle, say one time when there was a story she told, and I love that story. Her and Obama went to a restaurant, and she saw this man, and they talked or whatever, and Obama said, "Who was that?" And she said, "Oh, that's my ex-boyfriend." And Obama laughed and said, "Oh, you would have been the owner of you would have been married to the owner of a restaurant, huh? You would have had your restaurant had you got with him." She said, "No, he would have been the president of the United States." I said, that's what I'm talking about. And see, that's what I'm saying. See, God knows what he got in me. And he knows the man that is going to take what I have to offer and put it where it's supposed to be. Because I know what I got in me. And it's just the right one is going to connect. And y'all going to see it. What's today's date? March 14th, 2022. I said it on my podcast, so you can dig it back up later on. You will see it when you see it, but you gonna see it and you gonna know and say, wow, she said. Don't sleep on me. Cause I love love. I love relationships. I do. And I one day, I may be 75 years old when I do it. But one day I'll settle down again. I will. All right, y'all. I said a lot today, but y'all know how I do. I just thank my listeners. Let me applaud y'all before I go. I thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you guys that have downloaded and who listen to me. I appreciate you. And hopefully I say something that does assist you and help you, to look at life differently and to feel better, to think better, to do better. Because that's what it's all about. We're all here to help each other. All right. I love you guys. I'm going to get off this, and I'll probably, because I'm wired again. Like I said, I feel the energy. So I may do the single ladies one. Excuse me. Once I get off here and take a break. Give me some tea because my voice is going. And then I may put that one out today too. So, all right, y'all. This has been your girl, Coach LockMarie. And I'm saying I will see you on the next episode. I love you.